listen up, y'all. It's the queen of automation, Megan Donnelly, here to give you inspiration. Founders and business owners gather round. I'ma show you how to build systems that'll astound. Streamline your processes, no need for
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Queen of Automation podcast, where we talk about operations and technology and why they're only good when they work and how I hopefully help you make them work. Today, I am very excited to bring another Brand Build member, Alexandra, to the show. And here's what I love about Alexandra, and I will let her kind of introduce herself and tell you all about this, but she is all about bringing business back to humans, right? Like in relationships. And it's all about humans, which is exactly where it should be. So many of us are solo entrepreneurs or small businesses and using AI chatbots and doing all of this stuff. And it's very digital, right? Like it's very robotic, if you will. And what I love about her is she calls herself a fractional chief wellness officer. And I can't wait for her to explain what this means because, well, you know what? I can't even do it justice. Alexandra, please introduce yourself. Tell everybody where you're calling in from and explain all about the fractional chief wellness officer, because I think that people are not focusing enough on people. Does that make sense? Like that sounds so weird when you say it like that, but the world is so robotic right now and people need to take a step back. And I think that that is one of the things that you're doing really well with your coaching and how you're working with people. So tell us all about what that means to you.
Well, thank you, Megan, for the invitation. I'm so happy to be part of this podcast. I listen to other episodes and it's really great. Thank you for the introduction too. I really think that in the evolution of human beings, we have focused, I would say, over the past many hundreds of years in the material world. So technology, evolution, the industrial evolution, the evolution of technology today, we have artificial intelligence today. And for that, we have let, maybe some areas of humanity a little bit on the sideline, which is more your inner world, your well-being, your feelings, your spirituality. And I think we are, as a society right now, especially with this, with the evolution of artificial intelligence, at a crossing point in where we have the opportunity to get back to us and learn about who we are as human beings. So this is really like action to come back to who we are as humans. And I believe that the material, money, technology, everything is great, but it's a complement. So we have to really find that balance, which is not work-life balance, but that balance, some sort of equilibrium as human beings, because as you know, we're suffering from stress levels, burnout everywhere around the world. So there is something that has to be done in that respect.
I absolutely love this mission because, and it does kind of, it fits. That's a really good segue into that work-life balance conversation that I always have with all of my guests, because I don't personally believe in work-life balance. You have one life. You're only one person. You can't technically physically separate work and it's all one. So you have to, this is why I love what you do in the topic that we're going to talk about today, because no one's healthy anymore. No one's concerned for their well-being. No one's concerned for like their actual work-life balance, if you will. So many people, like you just said, are burning out and stressed out and unhealthy, ending up in the hospital, and it's just, it's not good. It's not, obviously, like you don't want to end up at the hospital. It's not good, but it's people need to start realizing that you have one life. One. Whether you choose to work on personal things or you're choosing to work on work things, it's one life. You have the opportunity to build a lifestyle that is good for you. Build a lifestyle that's good for you as a human being and good for your health and good for everyone does. Even if you work for someone else, you can set boundaries, you can do things and put things in place in your life so that you have this healthier well-being. And that's why I love what you're doing so much, because people are not, I don't know, do you think that people are afraid of it, or it's just like if it's strange to me because, well, actually, hang on, let's like rewind like 5 years, because I don't think it's a fear, because I wasn't afraid of it. Like, of course I always wanted to build this fantastic lifestyle that I love, right? Like we all do, but I didn't know how. And you get stuck. And then where the fear comes, and I'd love to get your opinion on this because you talk to people about this stuff all the time. I think where the fear comes into play is people are worried that if they stop hustling and they stop grinding and they stop moving, that it's all gonna fall apart and it's gonna break, which is then where I come in, right? Like, and that's what I help people do, because it's one of those things where, well, if you have the right mindset and the right coach to help you, and then you have the right systems and processes in place, you should be able to walk away from your business for weeks at a time and it won't implode, right? Like, that's kind of how I see it. And people always laugh at me because I love talking to people like yourself who are talking about wellness strategy and talking about mindfulness and talking about health, because it fits so much into what I do, even though I'm a technology person. First, you need to get healthy. First, you need to figure out what you need to be healthy and mindful. Then you come to me and we'll automate 90% of your business so that you can actually go and enjoy your life.
Exactly. First, we're humans, right? When you're born, you're just a human being. And technology is something that is very useful. It can make us evolve and do great things and so on. So I think, coming back to your idea and your concept about work-life balance, I think here the key thing is not to think that you have to separate things, but you have to integrate.
Yes.
And I think with your work too, is how you integrate systems, technology with a lifestyle that has some sort of balance. And for me, when I think of balance, it's more if you think about, let's say, the universe, everything has some sort of an order. And it's just
Right.
how there is order and chaos, and how you find that balance in between those two so that, things are not crashing.
Yes, exactly, though. I mean, that's exactly it. It's one of those things where people are so, I love the word integration. I've heard the word integration. I've heard the word, what's the other one? It's so great to have this conversation with people, because every single person that I bring on kind of has a different take on it. They all kind of agree with me that it's not a balance. It's like an integration, and how do you merge the two together to create the life that you love, right? It all centers around what you said, though, starting with your human self, stripping away all of the other crap that's in your life and all of the other tools and all of the other stuff, which you should add back in after. But you have to figure out at a human level, what do you even want? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Like, what does that look like? And then, like, working with someone like yourself, once you fundamentally figure out what that is, then you can layer back in all the tools that will help you get there. But if you don't even know where you want to, like, what it is you're looking for, what lifestyle you're trying to create, how are you, like, adding Technology is not going to help you. Adding all of the other crap that's out there in the world, that's not going to help you. It's not going to get you there any faster because you don't even know where you're going.
Exactly. And you were mentioning before robotics. That's the thing, I think at the root, the problem is that we're living in most cases robotic life, and this is due to social conditioning for sure. You're doing what you're supposed to do, not what you want to do, and you haven't even think about what you want to do. So that's why people are so lost. And I was lost. I think for most of my life, I've been a lost soul. I admit that. And it took me so many years to reflect and to make a change. Because we are influenced so strongly by social conditioning, by societal norms, what your family told you you have to be, at school, what they told you have to do to be successful, and so on. And there's so much confusion around that.
Yeah. I would love to hear and have you kind of tell the story, because I know you spent a really long time in finance, and that world, like the finance world, is probably one of the most stressful industries to be in, right? Like banking and finance and money, because so many people are very money driven. And I love the fact in Brand Built how we talk about that money is a tool, right? You can always make more of it. Go work in an ice cream shop, be an Uber driver. Like you could always, like if you really have to at the end of the day, you can go make more money, right? But people don't look at it that way, right? Like they don't look at it as also being a tool, right? Yes, of course, fundamentally you need money to live, but I can't even imagine working in the actual finance and banking industry, like in that industry as a whole. Like is that really kind of what changed you and led you to this? Because it's stressful, right? Like that whole industry is like, whew.
You know what? It's the antithesis of what I do right now. And it's funny. And coming back to my life, my previous life as a lost soul, I believe, like so many people, that to be successful, you have to make money.
Right.
And why did I choose finance? Because if you are working in the financial sector, you have good chances to make money.
Yeah.
And then you realize, even if you make money, you get the good job and so on, but you're doing something that is not fulfilling to you. And don't get me wrong, there are people in finance that they love their finance, and that's totally okay. And to a certain level, I enjoy many things about it. I learned so much about it. But to be honest with you, when I was in high school finishing, I wanted to study philosophy, not finance or economics. Yes, I wanted to study philosophy. And I remember my father said, "What are you going to do as a philosopher?"
Yeah, what are you going to do with that? Yeah. I'm going to eat ramen noodles and
Exactly. And I had no answer to that. And I said, well, this is something I can do. Right now, I would have done it. Knowing what I know now, I would have studied that, because this is something that I truly love. And I'm sure I would find a way to do something with it.
Right. There's always a way.
So yes, finance, it was really, I did it because I saw people that were successful, and I said, you know what, I want to be like that. And then you have, at some point in my life, I had everything material, but then you realize that there is something missing.
Mm-hmm. There is. There's always, like, I feel like when you're going to go, I mean, I spent 12 years in corporate, working for the largest lifestyle manufacturer in the world, and building these huge, like back-end tech like huge systems, right? Systems processes for these really large companies. And it was awful. It was so, because it was like when you're in a company that size and you're responsible for that, you're working, 75-hour weeks, and you're always on call, like in case stuff breaks, and it's just awful. It wasn't the fun side of technology. It wasn't helping people build a lifestyle and get time back. Like with someone like yourself, if I wanted to put systems in place, the whole goal is to give you 10 to 20 hours back a week so that you can go and enjoy whatever part of your life you want to enjoy. If that's working, great work. If it's not, you want to go and like, that's where I wanted to be, right, with technology, and is using it for helping people actually build a better lifestyle. I feel so many people go down that corporate track, like you said, kind of in the beginning of our conversation, because their parents want them to, or because society, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go and you're supposed to get the job and the career and the title, and you're supposed to move up and you're supposed to like follow this path. Screw the path. Like, make your own
Totally.
path. Like, right? You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of crazy that it takes us so long to figure it out. It's really cool to watch all of these really younger people, like in your 20s, trying to do that now. Like, maybe they're not 100% successful at it, but you know what? They're out there giving it a shot. They're trying to be entrepreneurs and make their own path and like forge their own way. And I think it's really cool to look at and watch, because I wish I would have done it, you know, when I was 22 instead of going
Yes.
into corporate, you know. And it's really neat to watch that. It's also a little scary. Like, I don't want to be, no offense, 22-year-olds, I don't want to be coached by you, but like, you haven't lived enough life to coach me. I'm just saying. But it is really cool to watch all these young people kind of, maybe they're listening to us, maybe they're listening to this type of podcast, and they're listening to, you know, that generation who's been, you know, 12 years, 20 years, 50, you know, whatever years in corporate, and explaining the good side and the bad side. I don't know. It's interesting, that's for sure. I would love to hear from you how you kind of like work with your clients, and how you even approach this subject with them, because I still feel so many people, even entrepreneurs, like especially entrepreneurs, but or even like CEOs and execs, are afraid to talk about the fluffy stuff, right? Like, they're afraid. It's almost like they don't want to admit it, or they don't, you know, I don't know what it is. If it's like we said at the beginning, if it's a fear of like, are they going to be seen as weak if they talk to you about their wellness, and they talk to you about their mindfulness, and they talk to you about being more human? How do you approach that with people who are, what's the right word, leery of you, or like, you know, like, oh please, like, how is this going to help me, you know? Like, what do you do? How do you answer that question?
Yeah. Well, for sure, like you make a great point. There's so many people that are afraid of losing what they built, and they don't want to face their own reality. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, you know, when I have prospects or new clients, I think, you know, as a coach, the best approach is really to ask powerful questions, so that they don't even have to tell me everything. You know, you just have to make them think.
Yeah.
And, you know, for sure, and you can feel some people are not fully transparent when they answer to the question. But for me, the most important is just to create that little spark in their mind to say, is this it? Is this real? Like, is this the life that I want to have, the life that I want to build? You know, it's difficult because, like I said, many people, they're still living this robotic life, or the sleepers too, I call them. Some people, they don't want to wake up, but they have for sure many symptoms. You know, burnout is not like so many people think burnout is just overwork. It's really when you don't have a fulfilling life, when you don't really have a purpose. Like you were saying before, if you work in a job just for the money, you can never have work-life balance. Because even if you're only doing 8 hours a day, you're spending a third of your day in something that has nothing to do with you.
And you hate it.
Exactly.
I
So
mean,
it's just an energy drainer.
yes, exactly.
So at some point your body tells you, and I think this is what happens. Some people, they just cannot ignore the problem anymore. And this is in many cases when they reach out for help.
That's amazing because I get so like, and we all get that way. It's not like you and I are sitting here preaching and we're perfect and this never happens to us. Of course it happens to us. But what we're doing, and I feel like you're doing the same thing, is we're building tools, and this does not mean technology, this does not mean like just tools for ourselves, for our life, where I'm like, I put barriers in place and things in place so that when I feel my body getting burnt out or like I'm not getting enough sleep or not, whatever it is, like I can feel it and I can sense it now and I can, whoa, like my team knows, especially with my ADHD, like this happens, like this is, you take your normal, maybe not normal is the not right word, but you take somebody without ADHD and they're having all this stuff. Now think about what my brain's doing to my body, like just eating my body alive, right? There are days, thank God I've built this team and I've built this life, because I'll wake up and I'll be like, absolutely not. Like, nope, not happening. Like, there's no way I'm getting out of bed to work. There's no way, like, I'm not feeling it at all. And that's okay. I can either go back to bed, I can take a walk. Like, I don't have to get up and do it because the system and everything's running itself, right? Like, I have a team in place. If, an emergency, like, obviously, if an emergency or something were to happen, that's the other thing I want to tell all of the listeners out there. And as you know, I have no kid gloves. Nobody gives a shit. You are not solving world peace. If you take a day off, the same shit will be there tomorrow. Like I'm like, and it's like, just rip off the Band-Aid and tell that to people, because I'm like, no one cares. We all have this thing that we do, like Brand Bill, we're obsessed with LinkedIn. No one cares if you take a day off. Like, I'm telling you right now, you're not that important. And I know that sucks to hear, but that's the other part of this. And I'm sure that Alexandra can tell you about this. If you are like within yourself thinking that you are so cool and so important and your ego is like that bloated to think that you matter that much, I go talk to Alexandra, because sorry to like burst your bubble, but you're not. Like, none of us are. I'm not. Like, she's like, no, none of us are. Like, unless you figured out how to cure cancer or like literally solve world peace, like at the end of the day, you can show up tomorrow morning and everything will be there and you can fix it tomorrow. Like, if you absolutely have to, and I'm not talking about burning your business. Like, if you have a service-based business like myself, where I'm selling technology solutions and my customers can't take payments, that's kind of an emergency. I should probably fix that so they can get money, right? Like that's a problem. But other than that, I'm selling technology. They can ask me about technology tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things where I think we all
You talk, Megan, about systems. And one thing that I tell my kids all the time, and this is, what I truly believe, is if you think about it, systems are everywhere. And
Yep.
there are different levels of systems. There is at a cellular level, there is at the galaxy level, and human beings inside our bodies a system, and we are part of a bigger system. So in
Yep.
the end, that's it. You're just like a little cell that is
Yeah,
part of
we're
a larger system.
Yeah.
And so this
Your mind. Your mind. You want to know the most important, and this is exactly why I love what you do. Do you want to know what the most important system is? Right here. It's inside your head. Like, if you are burnt out, stressed out, tired, unhealthy, not well, and you're not taking care of your wellness, the rest of this crap will not work. Doesn't matter what it is, it's not going to work. I mean, at the end of the day, your brain and your mind and your body are the thing that you need to take care of first and always. It should always come first.
Yes. So you see before, because now with the artificial intelligence, I think what, like I was saying before, we're at the crossing points, and I know for the human skills, some of the skills that they become more relevant in the future are how can you regulate yourself, creativity for sure, and all these things they can't exist or give you the balance or the energy that you need if you don't rest and recovery. So before the robot that is like just doing until like the battery is like bang, no, you have to really rest and recovery like the best athletes they do to win a medal at the Olympics. They can do it from running. And
I think this topic is it's just so important. So I'm so glad that you were here. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so thank you so much. But what I do want you to do is share with everybody how they can find you. Where's the best way to reach you? Because I want everyone who's out there that's listening, to all of my listeners and all of my people, if you're feeling this way, I want you to reach out to Alexandra and talk to her, because we all feel this way at some point in our lives. I mean, you just heard her tell her story. I mean, she spent 20 years in finance, right? Like I just spent 12 to 15 years in these corporations and these big jobs. And even if you're young, even if you're in your 20s, and in fact, my God, if you're in your 20s and for some reason you're listening to my podcast, thank you. If you're go and talk to somebody now, like go find somebody like Alexandra now to talk to, so that you can figure out how to get the tools that you need to cope with this stuff as you're building your business, right? Like that's the best way to do it. Start it now. Don't wait. What she said at the very beginning is so important. You know, when people go to find you, they go to find you because they've waited too long and they're burnt out and they're ready to crash. Don't do that. Go find her and go talk to her now so she can help you prevent the burnout, prevent the crash, prevent the freak out moments. Like that's when you should talk to her. Don't do it when after the fact. Yeah, can she still help you? Of course she can still help you. And she'll talk you down off the ledge and it'll be great. But why would you want to wait until you're like lying in bed depressed and burnt out and tired and sick? And why would you want to wait for that to happen? That's what I don't get. But anyway.
Those are bad decisions. But you know what? What I said is never too late. Every day is a new day. And the moment that you're ready to make a shift, that's the moment.
That's true, because you can't change people. They can only change themselves. Interesting.
Well, thank you, Megan, for your support. Thank you for the invitation to your podcast. And if everybody is interested in what I do, look at my profile on LinkedIn, Alexandra Nunez, and you can get all the information about myself right there.
And we will, we're going to drop her link in the show notes. So you'll have a direct link. You can just click on that and go find her. I highly recommend you check out her content. She's got amazing content. She's talking about a lot of this stuff on her content. She's a great storyteller. And go check her out. Go talk to her. And for the love of God, go talk to her before you burn out. Go talk to her before that happens, before you hit the wall. And remember, everyone, please remember, systems, processes, operations, mindfulness, all of this stuff, your wellness strategy, it's only good when it works. And for wellness, it's only good when you take the first step. Like you have to take the first step. You have to be ready to take the step and take the charge. And that's all for now, guys and everyone. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.